Hey, yo, what's up? It's Kenyon Dixon, a.k.a. R&B Kenny, and you locked in. Well, you know I got soul. Some things are better left unknown.
All right, you know I got so very excited to be here with Kenyon Dixon. What's
Yes,
going
sir.
on, Kenyon?
What's going on, man?
Man, I was just telling you off camera, it's been quite a journey for
Yeah.
you. You know, the first time we spoke was more than a decade ago when you were signed to Tyrese. You were
Yes.
just starting off as a new artist, and here you are now supporting PJ Morton on this tour. I mean, just talk about this tour. We're on the last date right now. Seems
Yeah,
like you've
man.
gained a lot of new fans from just being on stage and just doing your thing.
Yeah, so we've been on tour since the summer, man, and me and PJ, we got real history, man. I'm a PJ fan first, which is crazy. Like anytime PJ would come to LA, me and my friends would go see PJ. I have been listening to PJ since high school. So fast forward, we got a Grammy nomination together. We got several songs. So this is very special to be here and on this tour with somebody that I really look up to and respect, who is incredible at what he does. You know what I mean? And so, it's been really cool, man. Really grateful for these moments. And yeah, we've been killing it.
Yeah, and with the tour, of course, it's a new project, the R&B You Love, the 99 and 2000's edition. I love this project because it was just such a fun listen for me. Made so many intentional references. How fun was it for you to make that project?
Man, super fun, you know, and it was easy because I'm like truly a student of R&B in general. So, but everybody knows like my soul like lives in the early 2000s. So, for the 99 and the 2000 was really, really fun to make, man. And a lot of the songs just organically happened. But yeah, we were really just trying to execute that feeling and most importantly, man, just have fun. I think that when you've created a certain framework and have a certain history of doing the music, it's incredible when you can get to the moment where you can get to that moment to where you just have fun and make stuff that you love. And that's really what this album overall was for me.
You know what's super dope is, you know, it's not uncommon for producers and songwriters these days to sample 90s and 2000s records to kind of bring that feeling back. But a lot of times it misses the mark. But you were able to do it on this EP. Like, what do you feel like were kind of the key elements to actually bringing that records back? Because there's a difference between just sampling something and actually, you know, doing what you did.
Yeah, so we didn't sample anything. Everything was played. We had heavy influences though, which was the intention of the album overall to just highlight those feelings and kind of like create a fresh approach to them that we think people could appreciate. I always say, I think it's crazy because given technological advancements and social media, a lot of people don't know the derivatives of a lot of the records that they listen to. We hear them online and we'll hear a sample version and not know that that's not the original. So I just wanted to pay homage to just the originators of a lot of these vibes that we really enjoy. I think that they deserve spotlight in every era because they've done such an incredible job keeping everybody inspired. And so, that was the goal for us. Also, I hear the complaints often about there not being any up-tempo R&B, and so we really wanted to attack that. And so I think I probably did the most up-tempos I've ever done in my life in the last year, working on the R&B You Love and the extensions of it.
Right. I feel like you understood the science behind a 90s and 2000s record, too, with some of the terminologies, the vocab that you were using, you know, the key changes after the bridges, like just those little details. Like, what was that like? What was the kind of process getting to that? Were you going back to some of the records that you loved and studying what you loved about them? Is that kind of what you did? Yeah,
I mean, it's church, to be honest.
Yeah.
When you think about 90s R&B, that's all 90s R&B is. At least late 90s. Late 90s R&B was, and early. I think middle is kind of like its own thing, but it's all just church. When you think about the modulations, the way you're conveying the vocals, the execution is literally all church. And I'm a church kid, born and raised, and a lot of the creatives I work with also share that experience. So I think we have an understanding without ever having to like dissect everything. We just understand it, it's the feeling more than anything. We know when it feels right. And when it came down to the early 2000s, that's where a lot of the up-tempo records came from. Because when you think about the early 2000s, we got a lot of up-tempo records that were like Peaches and Cream, Heard It All Before, Coffee Brown, After the Party, like you name it. These are all records that were still very, very much so R&B, but they had that tempo. And so, yeah, with the 2000s records, that was the goal. And, the underdogs are always a reference for anything early 2000s for me. So,
yeah. I think an underrated part of this EP was getting RL on the feature for 2000s R&B because, like, RL to us, he's a legend. Behind the scenes with Next and whatnot. Like, just talk about connecting with RL. Yeah,
and an incredible writer.
Yep.
I think a lot of people don't know, like, a lot of the records that he's written for his peers coming
That's
up.
Right.
And so, with RL, man, you think about a record like 2000s R&B, to me, it's like the quintessential R&B record. I wanted to make this feel like if I was able to take a 2000s R&B, if I was able to take the era, like, how could I put the entire era into one song? And that's what 2000s R&B was for me. So when I thought about a feature, I'm like, I could go more modern, but I think to really drive the point, I wanted somebody who understood that era, who lived that era, somebody that could give me perspective.
Right.
And so RL, he had reached out to me before, man, and telling me, he really loved the music. And obviously I'm a fan. I'm a student of what they do. And so he popped in the back of my head, man, and I tend to shy away from reaching out when it comes to features. And so I hit RL, and I was like, yo, man, like, I would be honored if you would be down to do this record, man. And I mean, like, no hesitation. RL was like, whatever you need, I got you. And he asked me to give him a week. He was traveling. He was like, give me a week, I'll get it back to you. He got the record back to me in like a day and a half. Like, he listened to it. It was like, yo, I had to make a stop at the crib for something, and I just cut it.
Wow.
So, yeah, man, that's a really, really special moment to me. You don't really get those moments where you get your heroes and legends in the game who truly stand behind championing, modern artists, man. And RL is really like a stand-up guy and a man of his word. And I really appreciated that more than he knows.
No, for sure. And it's big on you because we're in that climate now where if you're not on the charts, everyone says you're washed up,
100%.
But you acknowledge the legends. So that's big on you for that. I want to get into your songwriting behind the scenes. Obviously, you worked with Justin Timberlake on his latest album. I feel like you did a lot of great records on there. The album didn't perform initially, as well as many may have hoped, but now he's on this tour and he's killing it out there, selling out arenas, and I feel like people are now starting to discover those records. And I feel like that's probably a unconventional way for people to discover records. Like, what was it like for you to, like, go through that whole journey of, not a lot of people know about these records, the album's out, but it's not getting the exposure, and now everyone's going back and saying, hey, this new Justin Timberlake record is crazy.
Man, I think that's the beauty of knowing the quality of music that you create. Justin is an incredible creative on all fronts. And so connecting with him in that way, we had so much fun making these records that we had no expectations other than to make a great album. And so I think we did that. I think the records are incredible. And I think people discover music on their own time. Like, when you think about music climate, what success in today's climate of music, like, changes like every other week. I think the success with this album is the fact that he's playing sold-out arenas every night and performing this music that we made in the studio, just having fun. You know what I mean? So, just going through the process, man. We had an incredible time. We worked on the album for about 5 years, 4 or 5 years at the start of the pandemic, really right before it happened. And we went everywhere from the Bahamas to New York to L.A. to Miami. Like, we were moving, making the records, man. And, it's an album that what I love about it is I had a convo with Jay, and he feels like he was able to be himself. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And I think that's important. As an artist, I understand it. I understand it as a writer too, but as an artist, when you get to that point where the music is no longer about the sales and the performance, but the fact that you actually love it and you can live with it and you enjoy making it, like, that as an artist means everything. So to have been a part of that pivotal moment, I think that meant more to me than having a a #1 record. To have taken an artist with such a strong legacy and incredible catalog and be new to making music with them, and they feel like they've made some of their best music with you, that to me was rewarding enough.
And, just want to talk about your songwriting a little bit more. Obviously, the TGT album came out more than 10 years ago. You started off with Tyrese, like that whole R&B boot camp movement. Because it was not only just you there. There were a bunch of legends in there. Tim Kelly was there. Eric Hudson was there.
Hudson,
Sir was there. Bam. Like the whole camp. Like, what did you learn from that experience that you still take with you to this day?
That I don't like camps. However, we all shared that, but we have such a great love for Tyrese and each other that it worked out. You know what I mean? But in those moments, man, there's something that you can't explain. That's where you really find the soul in music, like having to be there and be inspired, like by people, like where you're not the best in the room, but everybody inspires something and everybody else. Like, I think that to me was very telling of why we've all had the success we've had, in our own rights, because I think everybody was just incredible, and it was the start of a lot of our careers. And for me, it was like work study, because here I am, like a true R&B artist, and I got to sit firsthand and learn from some of the greatest R&B artists like in the game, and creatives and producers, because also working with Tyrese is how I ended up working with the Underdogs. That's how I met Damon and Harvey and Adonis and Eric Dawkins and Steve Russell, like everybody, that whole pipeline, man. That was special to be a part of that. And so, I just, more than anything, I learned how to really make R&B music, to be honest.
Yeah. Speaking of R&B music, you set Twitter on fire with a tweet not too long ago saying that you felt 2000's R&B musically was better than 90's R&B. Like, I'm around the same age as you, so I get it. But, I mean, just talk about that tweet and why you feel that way.
So, here's my take on it.
Yes.
I will stand behind. I feel like 2000's R&B was more innovative than 90's. I feel like when we talk about an era that had its own sound that didn't come from, that wasn't really a derivative of anything. I don't want to say anything before it, but the sound of 2000's R&B, what the Underdogs did, what the Neptunes did, that was very specific. I'm a church kid, so growing up in church, 90's R&B to me was nothing but gospel with different contexts.
Right.
So I had already heard that. I had already heard 90's R&B. I couldn't listen to it, but to me it was literally just paralleling what I heard in church. 2000's R&B, we didn't get that. 2000's R&B sparked it influenced a new wave of gospel, not the other way around. So that's why I think 2000's R&B is very important. And when I think about some of my favorite artists and songs, I'm a soul guy. So 2000's, you're talking prime time for D'Angelo and Jill Scott, Bilal, Music Soul Child, Erykah Badu, like you name it. I just you can't beat it to me.
Yeah. And then even the mainstream records, right? Like, I think about a song like Icebox. Like, no one can write a song like Icebox in the 90's, like production-wise as well.
How you going to act like that?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You had those big records. Mario, Chris Brown,
yeah,
Usher, Confessions. This was all 2000s. These are pivotal albums. And not to say there aren't classic albums that come from the 90's, because everything Faith Evans did, everything Jodeci did, like, incredible. But 2000s R&B for me it's top tier.
So, Kenyon, when we talk about 2000s R&B, one thing I know about you, you're on Twitter, you're curating playlists as well. And what we want to do here, we want to curate a playlist with you. This is the Kenyon Dixon You Know I Got So.
Okay.
2000s R&B male edition.
Oh.
So what we're going to do here, I have 22 tracks here. What we're going to do, I'm going to give you 2 records. We're going to go round by round.
Okay.
One's got to go. One stays on the playlist.
Okay.
The criteria for this, I mean, I'll leave it up to you on what you want the criteria to be.
Okay.
But I will also say, I know you have a lot of personal ties to some of these artists. So
I can't throw away the homies.
I mean, I'll leave that up to you. But for the artists watching this, no offense. No, this is just music here.
Yeah,
we're talking records, all right?
I'm ready.
And this is going to mess you up because I know how big of an R&B fan you are. And you know what? I'll tell you this, too. Once you make your pick, give your reason why, or tell me why you love both songs. Just give me something here.
I got you.
Just so the people understand. All right. The first record, Kenyon. Peaches and Cream by 112, or Where the Party At by Jagged Edge?
So we starting off with violence.
Yes.
I'm going Peaches and Cream.
Okay.
And I love Jagged Edge.
Yep.
Peaches and Cream is that sound that I'm talking about.
Yep.
That innovation of 2000s R&B. We have never heard another record like Peaches and Cream.
Yep.
Except for Running Back by Kenyon Dixon, which is inspired
there you go.
by
Yep.
Peaches and Cream.
Exactly.
So, yeah, that being the inspiration for one of my latest records, I have to go with Peaches and Cream.
All right.
Shout out to 112, man.
For sure. The next record, this is Choosing Violence too. I don't know where you're going to go with this one, though. Mario, How Could You? Or Tyrese, How You Gonna Act Like That?
Oh, my God.
It's not fair because it's the same producers,
God.
but that's what we're going to do here.
I'm gonna go with Ty.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Ty because that is one of the most classic underdogs records ever created. How Could You is literally in my top 10 of R&B songs ever.
Yes.
But Ty, I've toured with him, I've written with him, I've heard him sing these songs live.
Yeah.
The feeling is still there, and I think that's one of the most classic underdogs records ever created. So that's my reason.
All right. Sticking with the underdogs theme.
Okay.
We just love to do that. Oh, or Naked.
Come on, man.
Yeah. I'm telling you, this gets tough.
Oh, my God.
And by the way, I've asked every underdogs member to pick between the two.
Oh, my God.
And it's like 50-50, so.
Oh, or Naked.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Harvey chose Oh, Damon chose Naked.
Of course.
So.
I'm going to go O.
Okay. Yep.
I'm going to go O.
Okay.
That's tough. That's
Yeah.
a tough one.
Yep.
But O, you got, I want to say Eric Dawkins and Tank
Yep.
are a part of O.
Yep.
And I don't think they're both a part of Naked.
Eric's not on Naked.
So
Yep.
that's
All right.
my reason.
All right.
Because both of my brothers are a part of that song.
All right. Next one here. This is going to mess you up, too. Justin Timberlake, that's your brother. Until the End of Time.
Oh, my God.
Or Superstar by Usher.
Oh, my God. Why would you do that?
I know, right?
Oh, that's violence. Oh, my God.
Yeah. I promise it gets easier after
Oh,
this.
my God.
But we had to do this first.
I'm gonna go Superstar because Confessions, top to bottom, is my favorite R&B album ever.
Yeah.
Ever in life. Superstar is like top 3 of my favorite R&B songs.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Until the End of Time is one of the best records ever.
Yep. Exactly.
and it has that feeling.
Yep.
But Superstar, for me, I have like a personal connection to that record. I remember being in school, listening to that song, and that's one of my favorite Usher songs to ever exist. One of my favorite R&B songs to ever exist on my favorite R&B album. So,
all right.
That's a tough one, man.
All right. I think we're past the hard ones, but maybe not.
Let's see.
All right. Joe, I Want to Know, or Genuine Differences.
Come on, man. We're not past the hard ones. What do you mean?
No, we're not.
Differences that's another one of my favorite songs. I'm gonna go with Joe. I Want to Know. It's a classic. That's a karaoke classic.
Yep.
When it's a top 10 at karaoke, that's a win, man. And plus, I think Joe Thomas is like the greatest singer on this earth.
He is.
So
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Shout out to my brother G though. Man.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Incomplete by Cisco, or Missing You by Case.
Oh.
This is all 2000s R&B, so
oh my God!
for everyone's sake,
you know what? That's not that hard for me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Missing You. Also, one of my favorite records. It's referenced in 2000s R&B. But if you could go right now and look at my Apple Music,
yeah,
the amount of times I've probably played Missing You over every song,
yeah,
is pretty high. And,
okay.
I played it so much that when I ask my daughter what she wants to hear, that's often her answer.
Wow.
She'll ask me, "Can I play Missing You by Case?"
Wow.
So I feel like that speaks volumes.
Got it. All right, next one. Bobby Valentino, Slow Down or Lloyd You?
I'm going Slow Down.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I was in L.A. I'm an L.A. native.
Yep.
That drop, and when you hear I saw you walking down Melrose, that's
Yep.
like, yo, I know where Melrose at. Yeah, we was on Melrose in Fairfax. Like, we felt cool. That was like low-key like an ode to L.A., man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with
Slow Down.
Shout out to Tim and Bob.
Yep.
My guys. That's a classic Tim and Bob record.
Yep. All right. Got a couple more here.
Okay.
You've done pretty well so far. One Wish by Ray J.
One Wish. It's One Wish.
Chris Brown, Say Goodbye.
It's One Wish.
It's One Wish.
One Wish.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Shout out to LaShawn Daniels for that one.
Shout out to LaShawn.
Yeah.
Shout out to B. Cox did Say Goodbye, right?
He did.
Yeah.
And Adonis, yep.
Those are my guys,
Yeah.
man. But One Wish, like, anybody that knows me know that I don't play about One Wish.
That's the one?
And that's also a reference to 2000's R&B.
That is, yep. That is the reference. All right. Neo, Sexy Love or Jay Holiday, Bed?
Oh, Bed.
Yeah.
Sexy Love. But
Yep.
I see I'm giving an explanation for everything. Let's be very clear that Neo, in my own words, is one of the greatest debut R&B albums ever.
It is.
I want to clarify that. However, I also think Back of My Lack is also one of my favorite albums.
That's an underrated
ever.
one for
so
sure.
Bed, that's one of those records. But Sexy Love has such a enjoyable, positive, sexy feeling.
Yeah.
It's like that record looks like white sheets like blowing.
Yeah.
Like that's what that record looks like to me.
All
but
right.
Bed is
the one.
Bed, man.
All right. Carl Thomas, I Wish or Music Soul Child, Just Friends?
Ooh. I'm gonna
Because I thought, I think you're going to go one way, but you might surprise me on this one.
This could go either way. Let
Yeah.
me tell you why I'm gonna go with Just Friends.
Wow. I didn't expect that one.
When I first
Yeah.
started singing on the open mic scene, that was my go-to song. So I have a personal connection. And even when I remember finally like taking melodies and changing them, that was one of the songs I felt most comfortable doing it to because I sang it so much and I knew it so well that it allowed me to explore and like find different places in my voice. So for that reason, I'm gonna go with Just Friends. And that's 2000. Like
That's 2000.
That's that.
Yep. The very last one.
Okay.
You've done well. You've done
I'm
well,
nervous,
but
man. I'm nervous.
I'm going to leave it with a bang here. Or maybe you'll get it right away.
I'm nervous.
Tank, Please Don't Go. Or Avant, 4 Minutes.
Oh my God.
You see how I had to bring it back to the underdogs there?
I'm going with Please Don't Go.
Okay.
I'm going with Please Don't Go. I remember that era very vividly too.
Yeah.
I remember like hearing that record. That's a very, very special record. And I love 4 minutes. Now if you had said Say Yes,
Yeah.
Don't Say No, Just Say Yes,
Yeah.
or My First Love,
Yeah. That's a different. Yeah.
we would have had a head to head.
Right.
But yeah, Please Don't Go. That's one of those records, man.
All right. So let's just recap here. All right. Kenyon Dixon, I Got So, 2000's male R&B playlist, Peaches and Cream.
Yep.
How you gonna act like that?
Yep.
Oh, Superstar, I Wanna Know,
Yeah.
Missing You, Slow Down, Bed, One Wish, Just Friends, and Please Don't Go.
That's a platinum playlist.
That's a
right
pretty
there.
solid list right
wow.
there.
Wow, who made that?
Yep.
That's crazy.
So Kenyon, that's all that I've got for you. We talked
Yeah,
about
man.
2000s R&B. We've talked about your music. What's coming up next?
More music, man. I've been cooking up more music that I'm excited to put out into the world, man. I've been doing a lot of collaborative stuff. So I have a couple collaborative projects coming out next year, as well as I'm working on another complete solo project. So I'm just excited to share, man. I feel like I'm going somewhere musically that not only I haven't heard from anybody else, but that we haven't heard from me. So I'm in a space now with music where it's all fun for me. I think I've done the the proving yourself part. So
Right.
now I'm just, and I've always made music that I just wanted to make, but I'm especially in the space now where I'm like, I want to have some fun. You know what I
Right.
mean? And explore and still maintain the integrity and quality of music that I stand behind. And so most excited about that. Getting out, doing more shows next year. The Grammys are coming up in February. Nominations are happening in like a week or two. So I'm excited about that. And I'm going to Europe. I'm playing Amsterdam, Paris, and London in November. And so I'm excited to go back over there and tap into the fans. Yeah, man, we're going to have a good time.
Nice. Anything else you'd like to add, Kenyon?
R&B is alive and well and thriving. And just support the artists that you really stand behind and you appreciate. I know it's a lot easier to talk about what we don't like, man, but I think the proper way to combat that conversation is by giving more space and more of a platform to the music that you do love, the R&B you love, as I call it, man. And so I always stand behind artists. They're incredible artists in every era, and I think once you tap into them and you find them, man, tell the world about them. I think we could use it.